policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leader's seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts, listen the Rose on how the country running. We break it down. A chance undone in pound and two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power. Take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head. Start your day properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an empire. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts with Cindy Rose, and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts with Cindy Rose, and from sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong mind, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine, nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leader's seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts, listen the Rose on how the country running. We break it down. A chance undone in pound and two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. The future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability.
Good morning. I did not realize I was live. We have to do some adjustments this morning. I'm so sorry. And I have on my scarf today. It's cold. Anybody else is cold? Let me know if the sound is good, because we did some adjustments and I had to push the camera a bit further away from me, which means I had to push the mic as well. So let me know if I'm coming through loud and clear for you guys. Camera guy, am I good? Cam? Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Morning Facts. There was a catamaran at the base that was in trouble, but that is all cleared now. If you're sharing the image around, it's been pulled away. Alrighty, so it's fine now. All right, let me get into the chat. So let me see how you guys are talking to me. I want to know if I'm coming through loud and clear, as I had to push the mic back. So just let me know. Let me see if I could plant the That's the YouTube link there, Roger. It should be up. It should be up. We should be live on YouTube and we should be live on Facebook. So I've changed up the set a little bit. I've changed chairs. We're still trying to get comfortable with the set. So, all right. So my volume and everything is good. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So before we get started, of course, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Caribbean Sellers, CCTBVI, Premier Insurance Limited, Frozen Imports, Marcusson AC. As we go on breaks, you'll see some ads from companies. When we go on breaks, you'll see them going across the screen. So where did that weather come from? I did not expect it. Of course, I have not been paying attention to the weather, but it kind of started raining from about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it hadn't stopped. And by this morning, we're not sure what was happening, but school is in, we're back to normal. I don't know if Speedies is going to retract. I'm gonna check their page quickly. They updated that they weren't gonna run today at all. Speedy said they weren't gonna run today, but I'm gonna check to see if they retracted it. Just to be sure. Yes, Speedies is not running today at all. They have canceled all of their trips between Rotown and Beef Island for today due to deteriorating weather. So I don't know what else. I'll have to go and check the weather. But they said they'll continue to monitor the weather and will communicate immediately if there are any changes. All right, so Speedies is not running for today at this point. They're going to continue to monitor the weather. So I just wanted to make that announcement. I know people are thrown off. They're not going to be able to get to work, etc. Well, so it is sometimes when you're living out on the sister islands and things like this happen. Are we saying sister islands? Now I want to be so careful because everybody's testy. So, all right, so today, of course, we're going to try to go down the headlines. We're going to hit up on some of the subjects that we did not complete yesterday. I was trying to get through to Richie. I know some places do not have electricity right now. Where he is might be one. How many people are still out of electricity? I was dead to the world last night, so I came outside and I saw banana trees down and things scattered all across the yard. I didn't know all of that was going on last night because all of my windows were closed, so I don't know. So I know there are portions of the territory that's out of electricity. I'm not sure everywhere, but my guest co-host for today, he might be one of those people because I'm not getting on to him. And I wanted to continue to discuss what we were discussing yesterday. But let's go along and we'll see, as the morning progresses, what will happen. So yesterday we had that video that we played with Champy. And I initially said it was on Fleming Street, but it was actually at Fine Food. I don't know if I corrected it yesterday before I came out, but it was up at Fine Food there in East End. And the video that came to me that I shared with you guys yesterday, the company, Rotown Wholesale, put out a statement on the matter, and the statement indicated that let me find the full statement because I'd like to read it for you guys. I like to be fair. Let me find the statement that was put out. The company put out a statement and it said, let me turn this thing, and everybody knows by now that I'm blind, so let me turn it this way and be able to read it. Let me turn it up. Rotom Wholesale issued a public statement yesterday, February 2nd, and it read that RTW Group of Companies is aware of a video circulating involving a contracted security officer and a customer at our Fine Foods location. We take this matter extremely seriously. Give me one moment. All right. So they said, we take this matter extremely seriously. At RTW, every customer is our customer, regardless of mental capacity, background, or circumstance. We are committed to treating all individuals with dignity, respect, and care without exception. The actions displayed in the video do not reflect our values or standards. We do not condone this behavior in any form, nor do we accept it from any individual representing our business. As a result, the contracted security officer involved is no longer permitted to work at any RTW Group locations. A full and thorough investigation into the incident is currently being conducted to ensure all facts are reviewed and appropriate measures are taken. Our customers are the heart of our business, and our mission has always been to provide unmatched service to our clientele. We remain dedicated to fostering a safe, respectful, and welcoming environment for everyone who shops with us. To the greater community, we encourage any concerns or incidents to be shared directly with us via WhatsApp or through our social media pages so they can be addressed promptly and appropriately. We thank our customers and community for holding us accountable and for continuing to place their trust in RTW Group of Companies. I know there was someone that wanted to have this conversation. There are some things that, let me see here quickly. All right, let's see if he's gonna call. So let's discuss this a little bit more. All right. I've been watching, the varying comments and shares as I placed it on the Guavaberry Facebook page. Right. So as I'm listening and still getting, people's opinion on what may have transpired yesterday, we, of course, we got a portion of the video. And I just want to be clear in my position, okay? And this is my position. We can find a lot of excuses to say that, Champy's annoying. We have these guys are actually, a threat to society. The police will be called. They come. The same thing would happen over and over. And the government, it seems to be throwing up their hands and saying that they can't do anything per se about them unless they sign or give them permission to do so. To help do so, right? I remember, and I'm gonna have to check the law on this, or maybe I can call the Honorable Vincent Wheatley and see if he'll pick up and have this conversation with us quickly. But I recall before, in years prior, that people where their mental capacity is no longer there, or the government would take them on as their ward. That doesn't seem to be happening anymore. But like I said, I don't know. Today's Tuesday. They might be in cabinet. Let me message him and ask. Let me message him and ask. I'm gonna ask the minister if he's in cabinet, if I can call him quickly. Right. So, so there's that whole conversation going on. And then there are people who are like, let's see the whole video, and so forth. So while we would want to see the entire video, and if it is that, so people are saying that, they've been telling him not to come into the store, because he smells or whatever. You see a lot of things going around, right? Others are saying that, Champy comes into the store. Sometimes, yes, he smells, but he buys what he needs. There are times that, and I didn't see this for fine food, but they said there are times when, he interferes with people, and stuff like that, right? So if the video does show that, they've been asking him to not come into the store and stuff like that, and they're not allowed to be in the store, to me, if they need to come into the store to buy something, I don't have a problem with that. If they have harassing customers, that's something for the supermarkets to figure out a way to deal with. And they've given their security guards instructions that, they shouldn't come in, maybe unless they're purchasing something or whatever. If they're arguing with him not to come into the store, etc., understand that we understand that. And understand that that is still not justification to spray someone with aerosol or Lysol sprayed up in their face. It's inhumane, it's dehumanizing, and those guys, that security guard, that could have affected Chappie. Like, how do we know what that would have done to his health, if he has asthma, if there was something in there that he could have been allergic to? Like, that is just not something that you do. Even if you're warning someone, don't come in, whatever. Then yes, I know we say the police come and then the police go and they do the same thing, but still call the police. That is what you're supposed to do. Spraying something in somebody's face. And I haven't heard anybody say that Champy touched that security guard in any part of the prior video, whatever the prior video is. I'm pretty sure at this point we're probably not going to get it. But, if he's been asking him not to come in, you can't control him, call the police. And I'm going to stick with that. I heard there are times that, Champy would be there before they open the supermarket. He may be lying outside, and if the security guard, and I'm not saying it's the same security guard, it could be a different one. If they're washing them outside, they wet him up deliberately. Like, there is nothing that is going to, make me condone or justify the fact that the security guard sprayed him in the face with that aerosol. I'm not going to condone it. I'm not going to condone it. I'm not going to, Rotom Wholesale, they have to determine who they want at their premises and what their standards are. I don't know if it was too harsh. Again, I like to stay away from it because people say I'm quick to call for people to be relieved of their jobs, but you're a security. And I don't know which company he's affiliated with. But I just feel like everything is funny for us. Like, everything is funny. Everything is funny. Everything is a joke until it's no longer a joke. Until somebody's fired or somebody's dead or somebody gets hurt. Like, everything is a joke. And there are other videos that I see circulating with people doing certain things to these indigent people. And I don't find it funny. I don't find it funny at all. Most of them can't help their situation because of their mental state. So taking videos of them doing certain things and making fun of them or harassing them, and then they blow up, and then you're like, oh, they're always making trouble anyway. I don't think it's cool, and I don't find it funny in any way at all. So the security guard, the Rotom Wholesale took the position that they no longer wanted the security guard to be at their premises. I heard somebody said that the staff had fine food, and this is just, information that I got, that they were planning a walkout because the security guard was terminated. But I said to them, go right ahead, walk out and see if they won't be replaced. Because right is right and wrong is wrong. And what was done to Champy was not right. All right, let me see if the minister responded. However, it is time that we have to look at what is. I'm going to just call him because he may not have seen my message. It is time that we look at what can really happen, with persons like Champy. And people are afraid of them. Some females, some of them hang around the supermarkets, and people are concerned. All right, let's see if he'll see his messages. My goodness, I don't know why they're scared to talk to me. But let's see if he responds. Yeah, so like we're saying, there is a growing problem with indigents in the BVI, and it almost seems like every week there's a new one, and it's becoming very concerning. Someone, I don't know if you guys, okay, he's calling back, let's see. Good morning, Minister, how are you? Good. I don't know if you're in cabinet or you're busy. You know that I'm running the show and I'm live, but you're not live right now. I didn't do that to you. But I wanted to see if you had a moment. We wanted to talk about, the indigents on the street and what can possibly happen. And just some questions in terms of, how do we get them off? Is there anything at all the government can do? Just like that type of conversation, if you can have it with us based on what happened yesterday with Champy. Yeah, Paul. So you're busy right now, or do you have 5 minutes that you can talk to us? Yeah, I want to like put you on speaker and they can hear what you say for themselves. Why? No. So it's basic questions like, before they, government would have them as a ward of state. And I'm wondering if that has changed. We're wondering if things like that has changed. So those are the simple questions that I think you should be able to answer. It wouldn't throw you off that you're supposed to have the perfect answer. Okay. So, okay, no problem. He's gonna call back. I don't know if I'm gonna hold my breath, but you see, this is the problem that I have, right? If this is your portfolio, right? Something like this happens, right? The government hasn't made a statement. The ministry hasn't made a statement, but he's uncomfortable having the conversation unless he's fully prepped or maybe know what I'm going to ask him. He doesn't want to say the wrong thing, I guess, but if this is your portfolio, right? My questions are going to be really straightforward. Like, are these people still considered wards of the government? Why is the government not doing anything? Because they'll pick them up, they'll put them in the hospital for a few weeks, give them injections, and then by the time that wears off and they think they're a little okay, they let them back out again. And then 2 weeks later, they're back on the street, or they come right out in the street on the street. So I don't even know, because we can't even get to talk to them to see what their plans are. The most he said is that this is something that they've been trying to deal with for years. And while we're on this subject, right, like I said, we have quite a few of them now. And this came to me yesterday. As we're all aware, the premier is building, I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call it. I refer to it, I don't know if it's affordable housing, an affordable housing apartment complex. I don't know if it's, do you call them wayward houses? Kind of like safe haven. I don't know if it's that. I just know that it's being built in the middle of Long Look. And we assume, and I'm still going to assume based on what the premier said, it's for persons in the district who need to be housed. Okay. Yesterday, with all of this blowing up, I understand that Safe Haven is closing. And, you know, all the persons at Safe Haven will be transferred to this building. I don't know if that's the case. That's what came to me yesterday. The premier has not had a press conference yet for this year. We're in February now. He usually tries to have one once a month. I understand he's on his way to Dubai. I don't know what is there. The last time the premier, let me not get sidetracked, I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it. But I understand that Safe Haven is closing. I don't know if that's a fact. And that the people or residents from Safe Haven will be put up into this new building that's being built in Long Look. And I'm assuming people like Champion, any other of these indigents will probably be put there. I want to be careful when I say that Long Look is a high-risk community. So I don't know that I'm comfortable with that happening. And I'm just going to leave it there so I don't say the wrong thing until we're able to ask the premier these questions in his next press conference. But I don't know, I personally don't know what the answer is to the indigents that are roaming the street. That most of them are, I think we have one or two that we consider to be problematic for most persons and for tourists. Most of them, they're just walking around, they're outside of the supermarkets, they're outside of the banks, they're outside of some restaurants. Some of them are walking into the restaurants. They smell horrible, yes. I just don't know if it's a situation where the government is actually serious. Is actually serious about fixing the problem. I don't know if packing them up and shipping them off is the answer into more serious and reliable facilities. I don't know if that's the answer. I don't know if turning that facility that they're building in Long Look is the answer if they're not going to do it properly, if it's not going to be guarded, and they have to stay there. I just wish the minister stayed on and just tried to crunch through this with us. Going and looking for the perfect answer, the right answer that you're going to put out there for PR purposes, that doesn't really do anything for us. That doesn't do anything at all for us. So in terms of my position on it, he said he can call now for a few minutes. I appreciate that. Okay, please do. All right, he's gonna call. Because it's just really basic questions, and I think we deserve a little bit of answers on this situation. While I said that I do not agree with what happened to Champy, I know that people are frustrated with the situation, and so let's wait for his call. I would love to know or get some. Okay, he's calling now, so this is perfect. Honorable member.
Pleasant good morning, Cindy, and good morning to all your listeners.
Good morning. Thank you for calling us back.
We are live, right?
Yes, so you're live.
Fantastic. Good morning to all your listeners near and far. This is the Vice Minister for Health.
Thank you for calling us back, Minister. So a situation happened yesterday, which I'm sure you're totally aware of. It was at Fine Foods in East End, where a security guard was observed in a video spraying what appears to be aerosol on one of the indigents that roam around up there, Champy, as we call him. Rotang Holes.
I did see the video, and my heart was so moved with pity because the Bible teaches us in Matthew 25:40, what you have done unto the least of these, you have done unto me. And to take advantage of an innocent person like that, I thought was so sad. A simple misunderstanding. But I have seen that the company is taking corrective measures to address the issues of the pleased of. But it speaks of the bigger issue of mental illness and indigence in our country, which is a very long-standing issue. The general homes is full and overflowing, so is safe haven filled and overflowing. And that's why we're doing a project in Longlook to address some of these persons. There are homes open and homeless, but need special attention. Families aren't able to provide it, and so the state must intervene. And that's the debate to do.
Okay, so you're confirming then that the home in Longlook will be for these persons?
It's a combination of the indigent and homeless and also other folks. Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
they're going to be on the lowest level of the ground floor.
So it's safe. Okay, so it's Safe Haven closing, and these are the questions that I have. So Safe Haven will stay there, so this will be an additional facility to assist.
Exactly. So the post-extension of program, this is going to be run through Safe Haven and social development. So it's not going to be just put in there and forgotten. You're going to put in an orientation program. The idea is to get them back to a safe standard of living where they're not in the street like vagrants or and looking unkept. So they're going to go through a full managed program. And it's true, so it's an extension of the Safe Haven home. Supposing they graduate from Safe Haven to this other facility here.
So do you think, so this will benefit people like Champy? Because I want to draw a stark difference between, I know like Total, as we call him, I think he stays at Safe Haven. And I know that people could be scared of Total, but Total is totally harmless. He more wants to help you take it back, get a buck, buy lunch, whatever. So he seems to be managing to be out into society. There are a few others that aren't, like Champy, the guy, what is his name, Linnell or something, that he walks around and he's aggressive towards people. Do you think facilities like what is happening in Longlook and that program that you're talking about will be able to help persons like that? Or is there something more major that needs to be done?
Right, it can help some, and not all of them. What some needs a food institution, we tried a few years ago to buy a property, that fell through. We are still pursuing it. When you believe there's a safe facility where they can be in their safe spaces. Because if there's something they're about town and people misunderstand them and they harm them, I've seen it happen several times. Even the other guy, I can't give his name, and all this get down to homeless, they just need to be properly managed in a safe environment.
Right.
They should be out and about. Okay, we can be out and about in a safe environment where they're looked after by professionals.
Right. Well, that's something that I say. Like, we see these people on the street, but they're not actually homeless.
No.
Most of them have residence. But like you say, managing them based on their mental capacity. What is in the works for, okay, one thing I want to understand, and I think the public wants to understand, because what we've been understanding is that some of these people, unless they sign off and give permission, can't be taken off the street and put into a mental ward. Is that correct?
Mental ward is something that's for them. But unless they commit a crime, what you do for, because they happen to be mental challenges?
Well, because they happen to be a threat to society, some of them.
So yes, so again, there's no situation where we can pick up and put them. We are trying to get one, not stop until it gets through. People still have about 1 or 2 leads right now, potential properties, properly fenced. We can roam around within a safe environment. I don't think all of that that's upset for the bill. They wanted to aggressive the police from time to time to them up. Because they can have tourists and all business now, so the residents want safety, some are sexually aggressive toward others, some do violence because they don't know how to control themselves. Some are on medication and they don't take the medication because they need to be managed. So they have the medication, they don't take it, and then they go off the rockers, you pick them up, you medicate them, they're normal as ever again. Again, because they're not properly managed, I see some of them, they go to the hospital regularly for their treatment, and they're fine afterwards. They know exactly where to go, but 1 or 2 sometimes, they don't take the medication.
Okay, so until we're able to find that space and build that facility, have you guys maybe looked at any institutions overseas that some of these individuals would benefit from?
The ones we in connection with is in Trinidad, but that's really by having drug abuse. For rehabilitation. Yes, we did our connection with DVI in Trinidad with that institution. Once they say they don't necessarily have that kind of a problem, the problem they have with medication, challenge would be, are they taking the medication? Are they taking it correctly? Because sometimes they're quite normal and next time they're crazy. That's when they're taking the medication. So the staff will go pick them up, get them properly medicated, and then they go to go again until the next cycle. But it's very false, and I'm asking the public for compassion with these persons. There's no fault they over this condition. Because it's not their fault.
Yeah, to be honest, Vincent, if I have to, speak as, a resident of the Virgin Islands, I think people are very compassionate. I honestly feel so. Most times people are compassionate with these guys. I don't know if sometimes the compassion comes out that, maybe they're scared. I know with Total, I know some of the women, when he comes to help them out the supermarket, they probably let him help them because they're scared, right? But I think most times people are compassionate, but sometimes it could be very overwhelming because you can come out of a restaurant and there's one and they're haggling you and they want some money for lunch, and you head to the bank and then there's another one out there, and sometimes they get kind of aggressive and by the time you're done in the day, if you're trying to keep all of them off of you, you're just, passing out money everywhere you go, and it becomes frustrating. It's hard. You don't really have any mental peace. Some of them, you go to the supermarket, you see them outside, and you keep going because you don't want them to deal with it. So I think most times people are compassionate, but I think it's becoming very overwhelming for the citizens of the territory. It's becoming very difficult to deal with.
I agree. I've seen the numbers starting to increase. I see no one's like I see no buses that drive around.
Yeah.
I drive around on a commercial day, give me actually the answer, they're harassed and they get service. And I said, if I see them, I'll call mental health. So I said, when you come and collect phones, I don't really call the police. I just call mental health. Because they know these guys, they have a connection with them, so to speak. They go to pick them up. If they got salad, sometimes it's clean, close his hair is cut. That is mental health doing their work. He's go to a barber and that's why he cut. He's picked up, taken to the hospital, and he's cleaned up, and he goes again.
Yeah.
So the guys are doing their job. It's hard to contain it. It's the lifestyle. They know they're comfortable with it. Yes, social media are nuisance in the community. But what are you gonna do? Besides try your best to give them a safe space. Hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. But like I said yesterday, I find something quite unfortunate. And I hope we learn something from this here, all those security guys and the public in general.
Yeah.
There's a way to deal with these guys without harming them.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is a bigger conversation that we could have, like you said. And at some point, if we can get whether you or, members of the mental health sector of the of BBI HSA to come in and have a conversation.
I think it's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
These are the experts. This is
Yeah.
what I talk to. What do we do here?
Yeah.
They're very good at what they do, and the community mental health, again, they do an awesome job of prevention. They focus on prevention as opposed to trying to cure the ones who are there already. Because what you want to do is keep the numbers down. So they do an exceptional job of mental health initiatives and so forth. So it's good to visit them, to chat to them, to understand what they're doing and how well they're doing and help the whole community. And they've been doing an exceptional job. With very different recognition in my family.
Right.
If you ask those folks who work there, they probably couldn't tell you.
Right.
Because they work deep behind the scenes, but they're very effective at what they do.
Okay. Can you explain what, someone like that being a ward of the state, what does that mean for the person and legally as well?
It's actually the state absorbs the expenses, medical expenses, care expenses, and so forth. That they don't have to pay for. And sometimes they provide housing once adequate housing that meets their needs, they provide housing also. But for the most part, they're not physically incapable, they're physically get around. And
It's a mental.
For them to get the exercise. So, when they have a lock up in our institution, really can't move.
Right.
It will increase their frustration.
Right.
So it's a two-way thing. It's for them to understand the limits with the public and for the public to understand their disposition. I mean, if I've known myself, these people have been around, so they ain't going nowhere.
Alrighty.
So they don't easy answers to this issue, so they're a long-term issue. It's either keep at it, educate ourselves more, and tell these guys more. Because at the end of the day, they're part of the whole society. You can't just ignore them, that's in the exist.
Right, of course. Of course. Okay, thank you, Minister.
So I'm going to put the onus on you now to make sure you bring these professional in to help elucidate what's happening out there, what they're trying to do to help you get the situation understand and talk to the pain, and other the process who work in cigarette.
Yeah, no.
It's a very important issue that we shouldn't be very hands on it and pretend it's not happening here in the PTA.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I am going to get them in. I have people asking to come on the show, but I'm also trying to complete certain things in the studio to make people comfortable where I can have more than 2 or 3 people. And, I'm kind of just getting started. And I appreciate how much people would like to come on and so forth. So I'm going to get to everybody because, again, like I said, this is an educational platform. Of course, I'm going to beat you guys from time to time, and you should expect that.
That's no problem. I'm going to talk to Chris.
So,
I'll say this to you.
Yeah.
To all of the other talk shows, use your voice and your platform to unite and to build and to educate, not to tear down and not to destroy. That's my only advice I would give you. Yeah, if all the other talk shows and I speak with them.
yeah.
Like what you're doing now.
All right. Thank you for that.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy. What can
Yes, sir, we are not in the house today debating the water and sewage bill.
what time is the house today? At 10? 2? 10. Okay. Can I ask you a question before you go?
Certainly.
And I'm sure I can go online and maybe see why he's traveling. But the premier has gone off to Dubai, right? He's off island.
Yes, what do you call it now? It's a very important heads of government meeting happening in Dubai. It's a land that's all the heads of the Caribbean going on. So,
okay.
So very, very important meeting they're having in Dubai.
Why is it so important? Like, what is it about?
I want to say something. So you can get that more information about.
Okay.
And I read it very briefly yesterday, and it came out in various CARICOM head states. I want to say that and give one that's have a lot of detail to it.
Okay.
That's the importance of this meeting. So as soon as I find out, send it to you.
Okay, just WhatsApp it to me if I get it before the show is over, then I'll share it with persons. All right,
I'm on the Twitter right now and send it to you.
All right, thank you for calling in. We appreciate the moment.
Have a blessed day.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. So we got a couple answers. I see some people here asking me in the chat. So I guess we can confirm. I know my facial expressions, I can't help them. It's what it is. I'm like 52 now. You can't change me now. My facial expressions have been what they've been for the better part of my life. But it was great to have the minister on, and he cleared up some stuff for us. And as he said, I should look to get members of the mental health area in BVI HSA on Dr. Samuel and Dr. Rubain, who I'm quite familiar with. So I will reach out to them to see if they can have a conversation about mental health with us next week. I'm going to aim for next week because, as I mentioned, I have the Honorable Myron Waldwin on tomorrow, and we're going to tackle some things, in particular, the merger of BVI Electricity and the Water and Sewage Department. So the legislation that they're bringing to effect that. So we're going to talk about that mostly tomorrow with him and other things. So he'll be our guest tomorrow. And next week, I may have one more guest on today's Tuesday. I may have one more guest on this week, but I'll confirm. But that would have to do with football. We're going into Super Bowl weekend, so we're going to look at that. So he confirmed a couple things for us, though, that we don't have to say like we're understanding now. Well, Sandy Lane is not closing. And yes, the building that's being built in Long Look will be used for some of the indigent and homeless people in the territory. But you know, part of what he said, I don't understand. So they'll have to make it clear, because I don't know if, you know, if I needed affordable housing, if I would want to go and live, you know, above, you know, indigents or homeless people or mentally unstable people. So we'll see. There's a bigger conversation there to have and more information to solidify before we, you know, totally go gung-ho on that. I'm going to call this person because he felt like let me see if he's available to have this conversation, and then we can go to the next topic. Okay, so his is ringing. Your phone. All right. Okay, so I'll see if he wants to be a part of this conversation. He had a bit of comments yesterday. So Richie is not available, but we're going to take a short break because we hadn't taken our initial short break at the start of the program. So we're going to, and we have the information from Minister Wheatley. So while we're on the break, I'm going to review it quickly, and I'll have that information when we come back. All right, so we're going to take a 2-minute break, and we're going to come right back.
Good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, day and night. From the people voice to the leaders' seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. A chance undone in count and two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth and future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power, take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head. Start your day, properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an up higher. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, day and night. From the people voice to the leaders' seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. A chance undone in count and two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth and future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power, take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head. Start your day, properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an up higher. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts before you step out, before you decide. Get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, they anoint. From the people voice to the leader's seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. A chance on none, in count and two. Electrifying facts for me and you.
Alrighty, we're back. Welcome back. It's the morning facts. Oh, none of my people have sent me menus today. Let me check in with them quickly. So I don't know if the minister was clear. There may have been some feedback, etc., and I apologize for that. We're going to continue to try to get all of this sorted. Of course, it's going to take money, so you know what I'm going to say. Make donations to the platform so we can get everything in line so that we're all comfortable and whatever we're doing is clear for you to be able to get in the information, okay? And the other one. All right, so the minister made something clear, and he shared his view on what transpired yesterday. That doesn't negate, the feelings that the public have. But like I said, the public is most compassionate more than anything when it comes to these guys, although we find it very frustrating at times. All right. I asked the minister because the premier, Honorable Natalia Wheatley, he's on travel to Dubai. So I wanted to understand what was happening in Dubai. And so there is a conference there. And, please don't think that I'm just being willful or whatever, right? But there's a conference going on there, and it is the World Government Summit 2026, okay? And it's an annual summit that brings together heads of state and government, senior public officials, global CEOs, and leaders of international organizations to engage in high-level dialogue on governance, innovation, and sustainable development. Okay? For our premier, he is hoping to, and it's the 10th year apparently. Okay? So, all right, yeah. So it's mostly seeking to deliver tangible and high impact outcomes for sustainable development of the greater Caribbean region. All right, so I thought it was something major, and I guess they're gonna look at that as major, but I just see it as another one because I think from 2023 to now, I think we're in 26. So let's just do 2023, 24, 25. Since election 23. So let's say 2.5 years. For 2.5 years, I think the premier has attended about maybe 7 of these types of conferences. When he comes back, he's gonna say what it was about, what he gained, but nothing will be transferred to anything tangible, I think, for the territory, right? Because, okay, so we're talking about going to these conferences, you know, I get so frustrated at times. You know, we talk about going to these conferences, right? And yet, we kind of see nothing for the BVI. We can look at the rest of the Caribbean and we can see their developments. We see their developments, but what are we developing? All this money that we're spending all the time going to these conferences, what are the sustainable developments that we are adopting? Like, what are they? The climate change conferences and meetings that we continue to go to. And now we have a climate change, what is he? Envoy, that we're paying a salary to, that we still don't know how much this salary is because the premier hired him without, you know, dealing with that part. So we're spending all of this money, but what are we actually gaining? I don't know. Does anybody know? Can anybody tell me? Can anybody tell me? Like, why is this meeting all the way in Dubai? I don't know. In an invitation extended to the premier, the ACS indicated that the conference would facilitate dialogue on several flagship initiatives, such as digitization of maritime transport and logistics, regional strategies to address sargassum, ecosystem-based disaster risk reduction, and implementation of ACS Strategic Plan 2025 to 2035. So that's a 10-year plan. But why are we going? Why are we going? Because we're not doing anything. They said that they've done all that they could do with sargassum, so we're gonna go sit down, hear about it. He presents himself, walk around, ha 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 ha, I'm the premier for the British Virgin Islands. What do we gain? They get more air miles that they can travel the world. And that's another thing that needs to be inquired about. And someone and I had this conversation just last week, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday afternoon. The level of traveling, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna come and say, oh, the NDP traveled more than us. I don't care who traveled more. I believe that the miles acquired from the depth of this traveling that all government does. It doesn't matter who's traveling, the PS, government officials, the reps themselves, whoever is traveling on government's dime. I believe that the miles need to go into a government account. And I'm pretty sure that that's something that can be discussed with any other airlines. I believe those miles need to go to the government's, I'm gonna say purse, but to the government so that the government can use. So we don't have to keep, it saves us dollars in travel. Because right now, all we're doing is looking for conferences and places to be in, places that we've never been before. The other one she was in Finland last week. They can't come back and tell you what they're doing on these travels. You don't see it in the development of the territory. We don't have any new buildings going up anywhere besides the one in Longlook that the Premier is going to put, everybody up in Longlook now. We don't see the benefits, yet they travel. So I think one of the options is for the government, all those travel, those miles need to go into the government's purse in some way. Okay, it needs to be put in an account for government so that government can use some of those miles towards travel for when they're traveling. Okay, because we keep spending this money and there's really no return on it. No return. There's no return. So I really thought I would have opened, this thing, and there'd be something amazing that the Premier hadn't gone to before that's so important. None of this stuff is important. At least not for us. We don't need to go because we don't initiate anything out of it. All right, I want to jump on something before I look at some of the headlines. And I'm going to make a call. So I'm getting some more information on the Premier's travel, but I already looked it up. He didn't need to go anywhere. That's just how I feel. And I'm not being anywhere. I just don't see the result and any benefits of them traveling all the time. There was a meeting in Anegada, I think on Sunday. There was a meeting in Anegada on Sunday, and so I want to share something that came out of that meeting. And then I want to call someone from Anegada to have a brief conversation on this topic. All right. Apparently, based on the meeting on Anegada on Sunday night, Honorable Vincent Wheatley stated that the AG's chambers, which is the Attorney General chambers, is claiming the Anegada land application process needs to start all over under the new Crown Land Board, to which the former chairman stood up and explained to those in attendance, and I will be calling him, the former chairman, Mr. Darrell Ruin. He stood up and explained to those in attendance that it's all a cover-up to hide the possible involvement of several high-ranking senior government officials' involvement in placing Bait Hill error leases back on Anegada Land Register and transferring them under the table to non-Anegadians. He also explained apparently how some senior officials within the ministry withheld vital information in an attempt to wrestle the applications from the committee. Minister Wheatley, I understand, also highlighted that the committee had done great work and the government is dedicated to finding a solution to the matter. So what I'm reading here is, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the situation, the land situation over in Anegada as it has to do with Crown Land. They've been going through this thing for decades, unable to get paperwork, deeds for their lands. And now they had a meeting on Sunday and they're saying now that the whole process has to start over after they've come this far. The whole process has to start over now again under the new Crown Land Board, because we had some adjustments with the Crown Land legislation and all of that about a year or so back, and now they're saying they have to go through the whole process again. And so now Anegadians are feeling that like there is definitely a cover-up and they'll never get the deeds to this land. These are serious allegations. I think that with Anegada, we're probably not paying it the attention that we need to pay it if there's a level of corruption here. And I think we're doing that because, as usual, they over there, it doesn't have anything to do with us really. It don't have anything to do with us really. So we don't see the fight until it's over here, and then we're having the same fight that they're fighting, and then everybody needs to get all outraged. But I'm gonna give him a call because I wanna get to the bottom of what I'm reading here, and I want to ask him some questions about this meeting. So give me a moment, and I hope that we can hear properly. I'm trying, but eventually we will get all of this sorted out. The speaker is a little further away this morning based on the setup. But hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Mr. Ruin, how are you?
I watching you on my name card, so I had attention.
Well, I'm glad you made yourself available and that you were watching and you were able to pick up when I called. I got some information this morning that I thought you were the best person to call to, inquire on what was going on and maybe bring us up to date with exactly anything that's going on Anegada, and specifically to do with the Crown Land saga. So someone just sent me some information that you guys had a town hall meeting on Sunday.
Yes, and I need to send it to you in a city, but
Where you're a little too slow.
You're not talking no joke. You're not talking no joke. But yes, there was a town hall, and yes, Honorable Weekly, while in attendance, explained to us that the AG Chambers or the rep, I would say that the rep working with the ministry, let me say, I can be a little more specific, stated that the situation may need to start all over again, and this time be conducted under the newly appointed Crumland board. The individuals in attendance, everybody, Anegadians are very humble people, so we listened. When it came time to, that was his presentation, so when it came time to the questions segment, several Anegadians did speak up on it, and one of the key factors they said was, now get this now, the cabinet paper sat down for so long concerning Anegada lands that when it finally made it to cabinet, the current governor is Governor Bruce. The governor's name on the cabinet paper was Governor Rankin. So they had to send it back to the governor's office to get it updated. This is what I was told from Honorable Wheatley, or we were told from Honorable Wheatley. When the paper went to the governor's office, there are individuals within the governor's office who looked at the situation, and some of them were questioning, well, first of all, how this thing went from 200 and change to 60 applications, number one. And number two, it is our recommendation that this goes under the Crown Land Board. And to my understanding, I heard that from a government official, that first part. The second portion to it is, I guess, when the ministry now, as Minister Wheatley explained to us, when the ministry went to sought, I guess, advice from the AG Chambers, this is the response the AG Chambers gave. Now, I was a little surprised that would come forward because it's two different criteria. We essentially talking about breaking the law. This is two different criteria. The criteria are based off of the applications. You cannot put all this in new wine and old apple. You cannot do that.
Right.
You have to deal with these applications based off of the criteria that they were set forth under, and the new applications, universal applications for the new incoming Cropland board, those have to go under those. This is what the government themselves broadcasted. So how come all of a sudden this is the situation? And for me being in the driver's seat as the chairman, I could tell you I've been screaming this with you on any platform you've given me, whether it's the other news media outlets. As a committee, we had went and submitted, if I'm not mistaken, 5 complaints to the Complaints Commissioner since 2021 concerning this issue of the involvement and the actions taking place out of this ministry, begging for somebody to take a look at what it is going on here. Because if you had looked when we told you to concerning the Bates Hill situation. It is not a supposed. It is not, no, none of them words. We no safeguard, nothing. That's what happened. If you go to land registry and pull the lot numbers, if I were to provide them to the public, flip the register and you will see that the register, the land was registered in 1974. That's when the land registry, if I'm not mistaken, took place, Cindy. You following me?
Yes.
So if this lease was leased in 74, if you go around and you ask the Anigarian elders, how come so much leases were in 74? They won't turn around and tell you no. Those are Bates Hill leases. When they look at the lot number and you find the location of this lot, they are turning around and telling you no, that can't be. This was one of Bates Hill leases where he had when the Bates Hill lease had existed. So once we do further investigation and we realize, well, wait, all of these leases from 74 or earlier that's written on these registers, how come all of them from Bates Hill locations? And then when we do some inquiry with the ministry was able to confirm, like, yes, Mr. Ruan, these are in fact Bates Hill locations. Then when you look at the owners of the land, Cindy, not one of them is Anigarian.
Give me some names.
I ain't giving no name.
What? It's public information.
Well, no. When I say, because I can't give names because it's under corporation.
Give me some names of the corporations. I'll do my own research.
One of them is, okay, one of them I know by heart because it is a senior government official audit, is, if I'm not mistaken, Luxury Eco Engineering and Design, if I'm not mistaken, LEED.
Luxury
Eco Engineering and Design.
Okay.
LEED. Like, I think it's called like Lead Corporation or something like that. Because it was getting very fishy. Where are these corporations and why are these corporations that were established on the Bates Hill, how come they getting transferred to new owners? Like, that corporation was transferred, if I'm not mistaken, in 2012. So I'm sitting there, the committee's sitting there like, wait.
So wait. So this corporation got this transfer in 2012?
No, you're getting it. Yes, ma'am. In 2012, under the WIP, let's connect the dots, under the very same senior administration, under that ministry in 2012 that is currently in the ministry now. I put the dots together and I'm sitting there saying to myself, okay, we're going to play stupid. We're going to play dumb. Okay, let's play the long game. This is the evidence that we found. Please respond. We did not sensationalize anything. At the end of the day, even as a committee, once we looked at all of the transfers current, let's say it's 35 of them. Okay, so let's give an example. Let's say it's 35 of these leases in existence. Let's say currently only 15 of them have been transferred to other individuals, right? As a committee, we even wrote to them and said, look, some of these establishments, we don't even care about you doing any rectifying and trying to take away. No. That at the end of the day, it has happened. What we are concerned about as a committee is the fact that we are finding out that individuals are trying to transform more of these leases currently. And that is something we will not stand for. Our recommendation.
So just to be clear for the public, these are Crown lands that's supposed to be transferred to Anigarians, right?
Yes, ma'am. Well, let's look at it like this. Let's look at it from a legal standpoint. It was a corporation. All of these lands are corporations that had leases with Bates Hill. The leases was not between the Crown land. I need that to understand that. The leases were between Bates and these individual corporations. Bates was paid $5.8 million in 1971, was he not?
Right. Which brings it right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Made with and now. Not only because of that, let's even look at another law. If these individuals ain't been paying their corporate tax, I think for 5 years, whatever lease they had with the government, even if it was the government would have had to revert back to the Crown, which would have made it under the remit of the Anegada Land Committee. We know the law. We know what we were doing. So we approached the government under this, the ministry, I should say, under this these awareness and said, look, even if I were doing it because of when we first alerted them, saying they come back and they hit us in court, yeah, the government take them, and okay, that's where the government take them, and we're the ones that taking over the list. Okay, show me where they pay the corporate tax. Go ahead. Once you could furnish the evidence that they pay their corporate tax, then I will keep my mouth shut. But you and me both know they pay the corporate tax. So therefore, these were supposed to now revert back to Crown land. You following me, Cindy? If they were under Crown land, then they would have fallen within the remit of Anegadian, but
right,
to use for the benefit of Anegadians. So what's going on here? And Cindy, ever since we revealed this information, Cindy, all of a sudden, vital information was withheld from the committee. There was an initiative, a very successful initiative to lower the cost of Anegadian involvement when it comes to getting the application process done. If you permit me to explain it, what happened is Minister Wheatley, the committee, the district officer, all of us put our heads together and we decided instead of the Anegadian getting $50 for the boat, another $50 for the rentee, and all of this money have to be spent just to notarize these documents. Now, mind you, the ministry had a practice of if you were submitting an application for land, regardless of where you were in the territory, you had to notarize your vital documents. And if it ain't for the territory, they absolutely demanded it for Anegadians, because the first submission of applications under Honorable Vincent Wheatley were returned to Anegadians. I need you to hear me clearly in the city what going on here. They were returned to Anegadians because their vital documents were not notarized, Ms. Roseanne. We then came back, instead of getting upset, we worked with Minister Wheatley to find a way that we could help the Anegadians, and that was involving the district officer, who's a commissioner of oaths, so she could stamp our vital documents. You following me, Cindy?
Yeah.
So we had a whole program established. All you have to do is go to the district officer. The district officer would verify your documents. She would stamp your documents, and then we as a committee would come and pick them up. It was a smooth transition. All involved. It was a very successful initiative. I have to give credit when credit is due. Cindy, when our term was over, this started in 2021, by the way. Cindy, when our tenure over in 2024, we had a meeting with members of the Crown unit of the ministry, the Premier, at that point in time, the Deputy Premier, Honorable Lorna Smith, and the committee. And there was a representative from the AG Chambers present as well. And we were informed, get this now, Cindy, these applications can't move forward because no vital document in the territory can be notarized. So therefore, if they don't have original documentation, meaning you go to the passport office and you have the original certificate, birth certificate, death certificate, or marriage certificate, those three vital documents. If you don't have an original, your application can't move forward. Minister Premier Wheatley give credit when credit is due. Upon hearing this, said this cannot stand. I am giving you guys an extension so that you could help the people of Anegada and do your best to transfer and get these vital documents to them so that we can move this ball forward. Cindy, our tenure over, and this is when you will tell me that the people of Anegada, the people who've been waiting over 168 years, their applications that you told them in the very first place, Cindy, I needed to understand what happened to these people then. You told us that we needed vital documents when notarized, when we submitted our applications at first. You then turn around and send back the applications to the people of Anegada, and we as a committee had to calm them down and come up with this initiative and move forward submitting these applications to the ministry. As a committee, we safeguarded ourselves by having a
where you lose no documents or the application was incomplete. So what we would do is we would have like a checks and balances where the ministry would sign off on every person's name. We had their name, we had the type of application that was submitted, and we had a little area so that the representative could sign off, and they would stamp it and say, yes, we received these applications. Cindy, you as a ministry approved the applications for acceptance. You accepted them. You sign off on every living last one of them. And then you're going to tell me after my tenure is over, where the applications could now be wrestled away from the committee members and back under control under the ministry. You're going to tell me, oh, it can be notarized. And this is the same ministers in government since 2009. If you really look at it, the last 3 out of the last 4 ministers over this subject sitting in Canada, Honorable Vincent Wheatley, Deputy Premier Fraser, and Premier Wheatley. All 3 of them were the former ministers over this subject. So how is this happening, Cindy? We really need to sit back and ask ourselves in modern day time, are we in the twilight zone?
Well, can I say something?
Yes.
Let me say something, because that, you see, that has been my thing. I just try to tell y'all that you cannot speak in, what do you call it? What do old people say? You just have to say what you have to say. And when you cross your T's and dot your I's, you start calling names, because only when people can literally put something together would they understand the dynamics or what has actually happened, right? So this is why I ask you for some names. This is why I say corporations. I tell you, give me some corporations. You got more corporations to give me that I could look into, and then
I could do with Orlando. What I can do for you is I do not have the records in front of me at the moment. Okay?
Right.
Well, I give you my absolute word. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but before the week is done.
No, well, let me tell you when it's going to be. Let me tell you when it's going to be. Because I know the public, they're watching me like, God, this girl is a bully. But let me tell y'all why I'm not a bully with Daryl. Because Daryl and I, we've sat on this, when was that show? 2021 or 2020?
Yes, I think, no, 21 had to be.
Okay. He sat on my show on Cut Deep for 2 hours. We went over this. Then he came back on my show on ZBVI, and I've been having this conversation and keeping up with this particular thing for a while. So let me tell you when it's going to be. By the 4th week in February. So that I'm giving you plenty of time. My conference table will be up. We would have transitioned to that room in there that you see. You see this room behind me, guys? This room right here, that's my radio station. We would have transferred in there. We'll have a conference table. You'll be able to come up and you spread all the papers and we'll go through it live. What you don't want to call and say, I will call and say. I will take all the heat. I will take all the heat. You just bring the paperwork and I will take all the heat.
Look, in a matter that at this point in time, Cindy, I am going to be extremely honest. I need the public to understand, and I will ask you a question personally because you let them know you assisted the people of Anegada throughout this whole entire journey. I would say that when I became chairman over this land committee, and Cindy, you pulled me to the side, you had men side tables with me, and you told me what you told me. And Cindy, I did not listen because I wanted to follow a democratic way because that's what the elders wanted. The elders did not, as they told me, I will tell the public, the elders did not want an aggressive motion like how Ted Alf had more. They wanted more democratic action. Because
no, so what Theodore, let's just be careful because what Theodore did was democratic. They wanted a more docile approach.
Okay, yeah, Cindy, thank you for the correction. Yes, I would say that, yes, they wanted a more docile approach. forces a more aggressive approach. I would use those words. Yes, that's absolutely true. And the reason for it made a lot of sense to me, because the people were so frustrated and so angry, but they were just keeping their composure. The elders did not want us to stoke up, these emotions, and then, something foolish happened. They said, Mr. Ruan, you're capable of it. This is what we want from you. I said, okay, cool. I had the support of all elders in Anigara. Cindy, I have sat and listened to 95% of every residing Anigarian who is due land under this process. I sat and I listened to everybody's story. I listened to everybody's tribe, and I was placed, the faith was placed in me. So do you know what it is to have elders pass away and their land been approved? Wait for this bombshell now. The people in land been approved from 2009, between 2009 and 2018. Wait for this. This is part 2 to the bombshell now. The very same day that this meeting took place in April 4th of 2024 to be exact, a day I'll never forget. Correspondence was sent to us from the ministry outlining the distributions, the former distributions, and it was set up in, if I'm not mistaken, 2009, 2011, 2016, and 2018. These would be the last 4 years of distribution of Anigara lands. And according to the spreadsheet, we noticed where, let's say, for instance, Cindy, if 50 distributions was done in 2019, or approvals from cabinet, let's say the cabinet approved 50 individuals, the ministry was able to successfully submit 25 applications to the residents of Anigara, and 25 were left behind. And so once you add up those numbers from 2009 to 2018, Cindy, unfortunately, there were about 120 people left back. I'll be able to have a precise number for you at the time frame you give me as well. Once the committee found out this information, because there was something fishy going on when we kept submitting individuals, and they keep coming back, they've been approved for land. So if you're telling me these people approved for land, where's their land? And then finally it was revealed. Like we submitted, because people want duplicate applications, like, hey, I put in an application in 2009, nothing, I want to do another application, if you follow me.
Right.
But when they did the duplicate application, what was happening is the ministry is now informing us these individuals have been approved by cabinet already. So it's like you go back to the individual and it's like, hey, you've been approved for land. Like, what kind of 619 you giving us? And they swear it up and down. They don't know what we're talking about. So during this meeting, it was revealed. Like, they gave us the information again at the end of our tenure. Not when we could do something about it, at the end of the tenure. Once we realized this was the case, we started to rate the ministry and advocate for these individuals. And Cindy, the sad reality is, again, 2009 to 2018 would have been Premier Smith, correct?
Yeah.
I went here, but that would have been Premier Smith, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me Premier Smith's cabinet approved so much and there's a remnant of, say, 115 of them. And you mean to tell me since 2019 to 2026, these 100 and change people still can't get their land after the cabinet done approve it? We ain't talking about going to cabinet like the other 270 something fighting to go in. We are talking about these people have been already approved by cabinet, and their approval was just sitting in the ministry. But guess how it's safeguarded to not get looked at, Cindy? This is the funny part. There's setback issues according to this are listed in the spreadsheet. Oh, Mr. Such and Such Faulkner or Mr. Such and Such Vanterpool, we can't proceed with his lands because there's a setback issue. But Cindy, when you look at it deeply now, how we gonna have a setback issue when the land is in the West End subdivision development? Their land, Cindy, flat and barren. What setback issue you have already? So it was just labeled something that was just, in other words, thrown an excuse as to why it can't be work done. And even if, hear me now, there were legitimate reasons why you couldn't work on them, you need to tell me from 2019 to 2026 you could not work on them. That's what you're telling me. So I am saying to the public now, as I said to my community, we need to wake up. Something is happening. And the only thing that I can think of is there is a concentrated effort for individuals to hide their involvement in it. In this detail foolishness, because I don't understand how these people come here for a commissioner inquiry into corruption, but nobody look at Anigada. This is where all the corruption is. How do you have a monarch giving you a decree that, look, this land belongs to these people? And in 100 years of European rule and 68 plus Boeing and local rule, nobody can get it yet. So then now you're looking at the land situation from the applicant standpoint where the committee is involved. The committee is explaining to people. I went on different talk shows, I went on different radio shows, I even do my own video series, I even went on live and vent my frustrations in meetings, etc. For years we've been telling you the same thing. For years, and all of a sudden now, you mean to tell me that 10 years over, you, Cindy Roseanne, covered our election. You were one of the few, if only, media that came to Anigada and watched that historic election. Cindy, were historic?
It was.
People from abroad and people locally come together and vote this committee back in. Cindy, what that was in July of 2024? Mm-hmm. What excuse you could have that we now wait into we're in February of 2026 and you're reappoint this committee? It's by design. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, something is very wrong. Something is very wrong.
And you could focus all your energy on, yes, there were mishaps happening with the applications. We need to start over, Cindy, as an Anigadian, ancestral Anigadian. I am willing to put my head on the train track and say, okay, we're going to take that spoon of BS you're giving us, but explain 115. Once you could do that for me, I will shut my mouth up. You could run me all the BS you want to run me about them applications that we work tirelessly on, but explain to me about those 115 that were approved during Premier Dr. Smith's tenure as Premier over this beautiful British Virgin Islands, that them applications still sitting in that ministry. Cindy, what is going on? How are these applications, these registered Bates Hill leases, what kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? What kind of due diligence went into it? Who was the Attorney General liaison working to transfer these things? Who were the individuals working in the ministry while these applications, these leases were being transferred? You need to tell me nobody. At no point in time we're talking about a cabinet papers only run through one person. I need her to understand this in cabinet papers through one person. Cindy, you like how I do that, right? They only run through because you want me talking on. So let me get a little deeper. We will go another thing. Cabinet papers only run through one person. So how is it consistently when it came to Anigada from the introduction of this person into the mix, Anigada all of a sudden is issues? Because to me, Cindy, if I was not the chairman and I took a back seat and I'm looking at this situation, I have to say is either a cover-up or gross incompetence. Which one?
I don't think it's gross incompetence.
Thank you.
I just don't.
Cindy.
I don't.
Which one are you going to choose? Because you are trying your best to hinder the growth and development of resident Anigarians. You are placing yourself where the only two options are gross incompetence, or there is an actual effort to prevent the rise of the development of anti-guardians. And while this is taking place, investors now, Cindy, let's follow the breadcrumbs, you know. Investors are consistently taking market share over vital industries in Anigada. It is time we look at this situation the way it's supposed to be looked at, instead of, oh, Mr. Ronda just talking because I have dreadlocks. I am not supposed to be an intelligent black man because I have dread. What he know? He ain't from here. He ain't wanna weed. Well, for everybody listening, I probably own, I don't shut up. Behave yourself. Like shut up. Because I am tired of the rhetoric what you know. You ain't from here. You ain't born here. Well, how come it's only me fighting for you? Explain that. And I don't just fight for Anigada. The same thing is happening to South Islanders. The same thing is happening to the ancestral lands. And let me be very clear, if it was not for myself and Brother Gregory Levons, y'all ancestral lands were gone. Gone. Cindy,
Well, they kind of sound like they're gone to me. Y'all just ain't know it yet.
the government does not own, unless Carl states, the government does not own, the government does not have any lands for investors anymore. They have concentrated and given away all the ancestral lands on Tatola. There were about 220, let's say 225 left at Tatola. These are averages, ladies and gentlemen. When you go to Jos Van Dyke, you're talking about, say, 1,500. When you go to Vojingara, you're talking about 2,750. Cindy, would you like to know how much land is available in Anigada? 7,500 acres. So when you write this Crown land policy, what Crown land are you have? We could swallow the whole remainder of Crown land in the rest of the BVI and still have 3,000 left.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. So when you talk about development, it's Anigada you're talking about under the table. Men lie, women lie, numbers do not lie.
Right. Well, they can be manipulated, but yes.
Thank you. They want South Island to do development. They want Anigada to do development, but there is a concentrated effort to keep these ancestral people away from their land. Another key factor, I just sit down and I tell my people, we have a premier who is very headstrong about us having our independence. I too, Cindy, am all for independence. I am for independence in the right way at the right time. I would say that I don't believe in no capture land scheme. But there needs to have a conversation where when you're so headstrong about having independence, what is going to happen to this ancestral land? When you know are no longer under the British yoke, as you would say, the foot on your neck, you don't have it no more. What is going to happen to these ancestral lands? Where you going to come and tell me, oh, we ain't going to deal with are we independent now, so the land is ours? Cindy, let me explain something to you. All right. You understand? But we so asleep and we're so caught up in our day-to-day lives, raising our children, running our businesses, our favorite music and television shows, and other stresses of living, health, whatever the case may be, that we ain't sitting back and looking at the bigger picture, you know. And it is a very lonely life when you are away, you know, because people don't like people when they are away, you know. I sit back and I watch this situation take place and Cindy, I listen to my elders. You know. But Cindy, sadly, the elder and dead. Cindy, you only have 7 elders over the age of 70 and Anigada now.
Doesn't it hurt your heart that they've died and they've never? That's so.
They tell you I was bawling as I try and hold back the tear them down. Cindy, I watched my grandmother dead about 45 25 years of correspondence, written correspondence with the ministry. My grandmother have evidence of her and her sister writing to the ministry for Proctor Estate, an estate and Anigada that they housing the airport and withholding this land from our family. From the time their father alive, we have 45 years of correspondence written in the ministry, and they have yet to give us our land.
I find this so sad.
I watched my great aunt dead, which would be her sister, the same sister who was writing. Till I turn around, I watched my father dead innocent. Sleepy dead and gone, and Sleepy had believed in Natalia, you know. Don't let me ever hear you speak of the pocket. He's a wiggly. He's one of us. And now he dead and gone. They gave my father, he died in April. My father dead August, you know, ain't even get to put his foot on the land. And I must sit down now, and I must play ball. You really believe that me and his friend? And I watch what you do to my father, and guess what, Cindy? Here's the craziest part. My father was one of the individuals that were approved from 2009.
Wow.
Not only that, Cindy,
And he got his lease, and he got his deed in 2025?
Yes, ma'am. April 2025 and died in August 30th, 2025. My father passed away. I can remember, Cindy, when he came back from dialysis, he did not want to go in bed. By this time, he wheelchair bound. And Cindy, every time I close my eyes, I can see my father rolling his face in the sun in the city. Yeah, you know. Lord, I love him, you know, and I understand that, you know, but he just sit on me in front of the door and he roll his face in the sun, you know. All right, I'm ready to go later. But my father was there an hour later. Yeah, you know. And you mean to tell me now, me as his son, how do I differentiate being chairman versus being a son?
Right.
And you mean to tell me my father was approved from 2009. And for whatever reason, my father was one of these lots in the West City. In the West, because you know Anigada, you frequent Anigada very much, so you know what I'm talking about, the West End subdevelopment. So my father had a piece of land down in the West from 2009, since that they never gave my father he land in. But somehow, some way, it looked like he was one of the same 115, 110 rollover. It looked like, and I ain't gonna lie, Cindy, it looked like they got so like, hey, Mr. We gotta do something to shut chairman up, you know. I thought my father is the only person that gave land. My father, I'm not a cousin with, you know, everybody's my cousin. But I think like 3 people out there about to get a land that related to me. What I was supposed to do, shut them? What I was supposed to do, appease me? To say that what you could give me. My family owns a percentage of Anigada. You own nothing that can appease me. And rest, I keep telling the public, you know, if Anigada has to go and sue the government, who do you think is going to pay for it? So you could have that stance that, man, that's Anigada, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I bet you your pocket pay for it. I bet you your pocket pay for it. Because there are already Anigadians that have gone to seek legal counsel. Many of them get on already because no lawyer want to touch this. That's no. Oh no. That's oh no. Don't touch that. But the ones that are brave enough to do, sit down and tell the residents they don't know how the government is going to pay you. This is going to bankrupt the government. We are talking about 168 years since this decree. You understand if somebody do something to you and 3 years pass, you understand the kind of pain and suffering you could get. Now you could comprehend over a century and a half. Wake up, ladies and gentlemen. This Anigada crossed the water and they didn't fight for Anigadians. They fight for everybody. It's time for everybody now to stand up. Take 1 day, take 1 hour, take 10 minutes out of your day to stand up for the people of Anigada. This is not right by no ways and means. Cindy, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
This is East Endland. Look, people build different, correct? Built different in this territory.
Well, we used to be built different. Everybody seem like the punks now. But go ahead, ask me the question.
Okay, get into that. My question is, that 100 and change applications could have been approved for East Enders and they not distributed them?
No.
Thank you. So why Anigadians? What happened in the Anigadians?
Well,
mind you know, they did not find out until late last year. I want you to keep that. So they ain't to say they had no. We just find out.
okay, well, we'll see what happens going forward.
Not last year, the year before, I'm sorry. The year before, 2024. We just find out.
We'll see.
They withheld this information from them. Even the very applicants, they withheld this information from because the applicants reapplied. So we have the evidence. We have digital copy of every application. Cindy, you get receipts, right? That's what the young people is saying, right? Cindy, my receipt book ain't no joking. The people that reapply.
Darrell, anyway, like I say, everybody built different, right? But
yes, yeah.
When was it? It was it 2022 when the premier said that before the year is over, like Anigadians would have their land? It was 2022?
Yes, it was 26.
Right. When did they do? All right.
Yeah.
So they completed the Crum land legislation, right? The amendments to that. That was 2023, right? That was one of the first things they completed when they came in, correct? Or was that 2022?
No, that was 2023 because the last, I remember this because the premier visited, because that was part of the COI, so everybody listening.
Okay.
So remember they were doing their town halls, remember?
So my point is, the premier said that you guys would have your land by the end of 2022. I think it was 2022.
Christmas gift, and then in 2023, when they did the town hall concerning the Crumbland board, he apologized and then explained to us that he's diligently working on it. They wanted to have, at that time, the ministry, because he was the minister over the ministry.
I don't want to cut you off, but this is where I'm going with this. All right?
I'm listening.
End of 2022, 2023.
Yes,
but they sat and they created a legislation that would throw you all the way back, start over the whole process. Didn't make it retroactive.
Wait, what I would say, yes, there you go.
What would you
say?
say?
When the whole legislation, when the act came to be, they went on, what was that show, Cindy, Voice of the BI, that's what it called? The government show that they would do on Facebook, the Voice of the BI.
Something, I don't listen to it.
Yeah.
I don't.
They went to meetings and they went on that show and there were many questions concerning this because people throughout the country wanted to know, will we have to start over? And the current permanent secretary, which would be Dr. Smith Buckley, emphatically let the individuals who were concerned about that know that no, it's not that. Any application that was submitted to the ministry that falls underneath the old criteria, meaning the criteria that was there before, they will follow that criteria, and any application that comes under the new criteria, which will be under the Crumbland board, the Crumbland Advisory Board, I should say, how ironic, that they will then have to follow the new criteria under that board, meaning all old applications for Anegada and wherever else in the country would have to fall under that old criteria, but do not worry. If you fill out the new application, which there is a new universal application for land, then it will fall under that criteria. So it was blasted throughout these town halls because I was informed that many people throughout the territory wanted to know this question. And they was emphatically stated that no, it cannot happen. That's why I said earlier, Cindy, this is illegal. Because you cannot put this old well in a new bottle. It's under a different criteria, but why is it such a strong push to get these applications under this new criteria? And then let's not even get started to how family members being on the board and these people pick for the board. The fact that the premier came to Anegada and Anegada told them, we don't want nobody living in Yus Van Dijk or Vojigara Tatola and our board representing us in it. We need a residing Anigarian on that board. Say that in case.
Wait, stop. Oh. They don't have any Anigarians on the board?
No, an Anigarian, subtract meaning an Anigarian, yes, is on the board, but they don't reside. We want the one that resided on Anigara.
Who's the Anigarian that's on the board?
I don't have the full list right now. I don't have all the information. This is what.
Come on, who's the Anigarian that's on the board?
I just tell you, this is what we gathered from the meeting from what Minister Whitney told us. That's what I'm trying. He didn't give us names. He said the board is formed and they're about to meet and have their first meeting for, what you call it, to pick who is the this or who is the that. But as of right now, they ain't done yet. And I told him, so wait. You mean to tell me our farmer board and I don't have no resident Anigarian on it? And all he do is he's like, look, the board get formed already, that information will be forthcoming. They ain't release it to the public either. So if we don't know how, if you guys don't know how, we don't know. You understand my logic? They ain't tell the public.
Well, I'm asking him. I'm gonna see if he's gonna respond.
Yeah, they ain't tell the public nothing.
Is it from Land's board, right?
Yes, ma'am. He has to know because he in cabinet. He would have to vote on the members. He has to know.
I am so tired of things that's going on in this territory.
Yeah, he has to know.
He's typing. I don't know if he's gonna say who it is, but he's typing.
No, he did not let us know what it is.
Coy Levens.
Rastafari.
Well, he's a resident, right?
Coy only Anigara.
Well.
We all day strong 10,000 toes down. But he don't live Anigara. The point of the matter is that, well, seeing that is Coy, I mean, yeah, but still, if you stand up and tell us you are going to give us a residing and a resident Anigarian, and you promise Anigarians this is what you're going to do, I assure you, if verbatim, if I'm not mistaken.
So Coy family didn't know it was him?
I wouldn't know that.
Oh.
I don't live with them, Sydney. I mean, me and the Levens family is very close. They didn't disclose it, put it that way. And at the meeting, nobody disclosed that it was Coy. I could assure you nobody left that meeting knowing it was Coy. And the fact that he responded to you and didn't tell us who our member was is a scratch and moment. Because we damn sure wanted to know. You don't live, the brother don't live Anigara, and at the end of the day, it's not about, okay, it being Coy or not. So I want to dispel any kind of confusion that could start. The fact of the matter is, we are prepared to come to Anigara and promise us there will be a resident of Anigara. So what you're saying that nobody in Anigara is good enough. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, Sydney. That's the message you've consistently been pushing on Anigara. The Anigarians who were elected by Anigarians to run the land committee, they ain't good enough to do this process. We're going to start it over. We're going to pick the people that we want to control this process. Me trying to hear that, and I'm saying it now.
And you know what? Coy is not going to ruffle any feathers. You don't want to say, but I'm going to say, okay? And that's my boy, but he ain't ruffle no feathers because that's what a lot of us around here do. Like, he has his government job. He's still at the airport, right?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I think so.
Yeah. Oh, wherever he is, he's in government somewhere. He's not going to ruffle any feathers. So they keep doing these things, making these political moves, just not really for the benefit of the people or for resolving anything. Just to say that they've crossed some T's and dot some I's. While you're here, I want to go on a break, but I just want to be PC because I just feel like being PC because this stuff is really just giving me this agitated space. We're coming to the end of an administration's term. We really done on the last year. We come into the end, right? And the truth is, election could be called any moment. The premier could do whatever he wants. He can dissolve the House. He can take it down. He said he's not going to do it until he's completed some of his projects. Basically, he's fulfilled what he wanted to fulfill for his government. But what I'm saying is, we're like on the last, I don't even want to say leg, we're on the last toe of this administration. And the premier is still taking on consultants. Do you know that Julian Whaleup is a consultant for the government now? I understand he's making somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000 a year. I understand. Why?
I don't answer that two ways, Cindy. I'm not surprised, and I'm being very honest. This is directly talking about what you're talking to right now. Me surprised, but I am alarmed at the fact that where money could be allocated left and right. These people. But you can't do nothing for Anegada, and there's an interesting point I want to bring to light where me and the Premier have had discussions on other radio programs where we've listened, VI 360, I understand Brother King declared yesterday, I wasn't able to listen in. But during this program, Cindy, do you know the Premier admitted, because in one of my reports, I have basically outlined that if you look at it from a broader sense, you step back and you look at what's transpiring in Anegada with the land and other situations, Anegadians are enduring human rights atrocities, to which the Premier agreed, wholeheartedly agreed. Double down, yes, Mr. Ruan, I definitely agree with you on that. Cindy, my thing is now, for somebody who is living and enduring these same human rights atrocities, what are you doing in Dubai, my lad? What are you doing over there? You could openly admit that I'm experiencing human rights atrocities, but use the Premier. What have you done? Give me a list and explain to me. If you have this report almost 2 years now, what are you doing that 2 years space of time to assist my people? Because at some point in time, a line has to be drawn, Cindy, where it's going to be about respect and not wanting to be vilified or the blowback, because the blowback is real. Forces who is going to stand up for equal rights and justice. Who will do it? At what point are we going to stop being silent and timid and passive concerning these individuals?
Yes. At what point? At what point?
Honest with you, I don't talk to you like a street man, like a me raised between Romneyfield and West in St. Thomas.
Don't talk to me like that, because I'm already guy going, how is a gangster? I don't know where to get that one from.
Me no gangster, I'm heavily respected. I don't even know what handcuffs feel like unless they have the little fluffy thing on the inside. That's beside the point. I don't know what that thing feel like. You understand? My point is this. If these individuals like sitting in their ministries, you really think they'll do what they do to me? Never. Not even on your worst day.
Yeah.
You got the baddest day in the world, you would never come on me playing.
Because
you think you have honorable such and such before your title, you feel that you could hold Sleepy Land from sleepy till Sleepy dead and gone, and then reveal to me, oops. You know what you're playing with, man.
So,
all the rope you need. And me, there ain't gonna be no violence, be no cuss you. I gonna smile when I see you. All I gonna do is outsmart you. I have a friend by the name of Kasim doing a good brother. And you know what Kasim used to tell people? And I'm gonna tell the world right now, you see what? You think to yourself, right here, you gotta wake up all night and go over it. But that's where you run. You don't sleep without going up. You don't do that. I am known for my intelligence. I have sat back, and you really believe I will approach 160-something-year problem and not have a contingency? When the board captain and go up, they got killed. They don't have a situation if anything happened if they follow a boat about them. Okay. So
well, my hope is that.
No man, it can't stop Cindy.
My hope is that Anegadans finally stand up. I've given you.
I could say this I want to post it on your program. Cindy, the elder them call me. Some of the elder them from abroad. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Anegada Progressive League, but it was one of the leagues, it was an organization that was started after when Ted stood up.
Mm-hmm.
They started then, and they were responsible for a lot of the beautification and development in Anegada. Like, for instance, you see the community center.
Right.
The Anegada Progressive League put the money together to build the community center. So things like that. Those individuals contacted me. They want to have meetings where they might not do it under the same name, but they're going to start another body so that there could be what is legal representation, where we get all of the Anegadians from throughout the diaspora, throughout the world, together to be one big face. Because enough is enough, Cindy. And if we do not fight for what is ours, it's like I'm seeing it as chairman, I'm seeing it as a resident. I understand now, Cindy, before I didn't. I get it now. I understand what it is like to born and raise in an island. And you may look at it at the outside, and the Guardians are so timid, idle. Cindy, you have no idea of the drama, the psychodrama that is thrown on the people after you watch your grandmother dead, your father dead, and you up in, your parents die. Your grandparents die and you up in age, and you now wondering if this situation is going to be done in your lifetime. And if I speak out, then they may be. I already have it hard living an hour away from Tatola. Imagine what's going to happen to me if I start to speak out. Cindy, it is real, Cindy. And I do not want the people of Tatola or whoever hearing my voice to feel that, man, I need to say no. And the Guardians said, boo. There is blowback, and it's blowback for the whole entire island. So everybody keep their mouth shut. This thing is real. This is no joke, Cindy. It is not a game.
Well, listen.
But that blowback is real. So my thing is, well then, blowback to the point with, you know what I mean? If the blowback come, let the blowback come. This way, when you step, make sure you step in to make it over and done with once and for all. Because it's foolishness. This is absolutely. Do you realize that this was St. Thomas? How the whole government would have shut down if it had need to shut down? Over this matter? How do you explain this? How do you explain that the cabinet approved over 100 people, and because of one or two people in a ministry, these people make it out? How do you explain that? How do you throw that under the table? How do you whisk that away? And you can't blame one person in the ministry. You can't blame one person in the cabinet. You have to look at it from a collective. Do you agree?
Mostly.
I know I'm going to get a raw truth out of you. So, Cindy, I appreciate you calling me. Let me get it off of my chest. Because, Cindy, I was going out with me. And the nurse was present, and the nurse had to tell me, you come outside. You come cool on yourself. Because, Cindy, it's very painful. Not only do we have to reckon with the fact that there are 7, you hear what I tell you, 7 people over the age of 70 residing in Anegada. And now you're trying to tell these people what kind of damage you're doing to these people when you explain to these same elders who saw their cousins and their family members pass away waiting. Oh, we don't have to start the process again. Come on, man. Come on. Can we get an
I think so.
Please.
Yeah, so I think that, what I've said to you, that we're going to go through it there on that conference table, but I think we need to start throwing out some stories on individuals involved in this situation and start filling out the whole puzzle, because I think that's how our people understand things. Kind of like how Bank of Asia happened. You got to put it in a way that it can resonate for them, like they understand exactly what's happening. They have to be able to. They have to be. Yes, they have to be able to relate, because until they're able to relate, it's like information that they're trying to piece together. And when it's too much for them to piece together, I'm just telling you how what people are. They're gonna walk away because that's just too much work.
100%. Because it's a lot of information and it's a lot of people. So it's like, it's overwhelming. It's easy for me, Cindy. These are my friends and my family. It's very easy for me to recall these stories just like out of my head because I live it. But to the average listener, all they hear is, man, and it got again done bad. Oh, the application. So they're going to look at it from a broader perspective. But I absolutely agree. You need to bring it down to smaller levels where it can be humanized with the individuals who can relate. Oh, my mother went through a situation and my sister.
No, yes, that, but also what I mean is, for example, lead, who is this corporation? How did they acquire land? Who are the stakeholders inside the government? Like, that is what I'm talking about. Like, you need to show exactly what is happening, where there might be the possible corruption, cover up, etc., etc. So people can relate to say, oh shit, like this is what's really happening. You know, the rest of it is just like a lot of people just looking at it as one big thing, and they can't pull the pieces out and make it make sense. And so that's where you need to break it down to. All right. How does this corporation buy land in Anegada? Who does it? You understand? That's one story. And whoever the other corporations are, that's what we need to do. Whoever the new ones are as well.
Yeah, the new ones, the old ones, we could do some due diligence if they pay their corporate fees, explain to the people that this is how the government law is set up, and what should have been done the correct way and what was done. So you say, activate my inner journalist, then. That's what you basically say. All right, I got you. I got that. I could do that.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at them for in a while, but for you, Cindy, I can go look at them. You understand? Because this thing needs to come to an end. And I agree with that.
It sure does. All right. Well, thank you so much. I didn't.
And just let me know when I have to come and sit down at the conference table.
All right. No problem. Take care.
Yes,
Yeah. All right. So I did not expect that to take so long. I don't mind. But I really and truly, I want to see some resolve for this situation with Anegada, and it just doesn't make any sense to me that it's taking so long to figure something like this out. Almost 200 years. It's something is deadly wrong. Anyway, we have about a half an hour left. I didn't realize. I'm gonna be very I don't want to say light with this last half an hour, but I mentioned something there about Willock. About Willock getting this contract, right? Since he was talking about all of these things. And the whole, and that's not, it wasn't really part of my lineup today, but I'm going to say two things. And let me see if the media, well, the Willock thing ain't really that big, but the media can go and run with it and write something. But I'm also going to see, because I'm feeling pissy and because I can't really do anything for Anegada, I just want to like rile up some feathers because there's a lot going on in this territory. And, you know, it really makes you sad that the level of things that's going on, how much people are willing to cover up for their friends and cronies, and just, you know, take things from people. And I guess it happens all over the world, but I can only speak for the BVI. But yes, I understand. And I asked the premier about this. I want to believe it could have been the middle of last year or even earlier. I asked him about this contract with Willock, and he said that he would make an announcement when it was time. Well, I thought he'd make an announcement at any of the following press conferences that he had, but we're now in February 2026, and he hasn't said anything. But, you know, yeah, so as far as I understand it, this young man, as we're heading out of a new administration, was somehow able to secure a consulting contract with the Virgin Islands government. And I understand it's somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000 a year. I'm not 100% sure. I've asked for the information. I have somebody on here who's quick to tell me why the premier has gone to Dubai and tried to explain that to me. So I kindly responded on that number and asked if they can give me the information on Julian Willock's consultancy. I don't expect a response. To be fair, I don't expect a response. I also understood that he was actually also possibly, but I think that's out the window now because there's some conflicts, I understand, but I'm not sure if it's fully out the window because when these people want what they want, they do whatever they have to give to who they want, what they want. And he was going to be the new chairman of the board for TRC. The person is typing. Let's see if she can give us the information. She can. I don't know if she will. That's the thing. I don't know if she will. I know she can. Of course, she can't give that because she don't have that. So can you find the information for us? Can you find the details for us? All right. You see, because when they engage me, I want to be able to engage right back. So if you're sending me information, I need all the information. Anyway, so he was up for chairman of the TRC, and I understand that may not happen because there are many conflicts there, but I'm not sure. But he has certainly, as I understand it, I don't know the full dynamics of what the consultancy contract is, but he has received one, I understand to be the case, and it's somewhere between, $100,000 to $150,000, somewhere in between those figures. All right. I guess the premier, when he feels like it's time for you for him to tell you your business, he'll decide because he's his own boss. You know what I mean? The power of the premier's office and all of that. Right. So yesterday, and of course, she's referring me to the PS. That's okay. I'm going to find out the info. Well, I found out the information already. Yesterday we were having a conversation, and I'm just going to say something quickly. And then I'm going to end on a bombshell that I've been looking into for about, it's almost going to be 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. And I'm going to bring it up because, like I say, the whole Anegada thing is annoying to me. And there's a lot of frustration, not only with Anegada people. And since we talked about mental health this morning, I've spoken about this before, the amount of pressure that people in this territory are under for different reasons, whether it's their business, their home life, all sorts of things going on with them, pressures at work, undue pressure for nonsense, whether it's who they align with, who they don't align with. And I want to tell the members of government while I'm here, and this is elected representatives on both sides of the coin, and this is the entire House of Assembly then, other members of government. When you see people, whether it's inside of Mind Chat, on anything they're saying on social media, expressing themselves, making comments, stop calling people. Okay, we live in a democracy. When something happens that somebody don't like it, if there's something going on and people want to comment and show their view, especially if it's something to do with government and how government departments are functioning, or how the House of Assembly is running, or they're unhappy about their ministers, stop calling people. Stop calling people and harassing people and asking people to take down their comments or talking to them about their comments. Leave people alone. If you're doing a shit job and somebody thinks you're doing a shit job and they say you're doing a shit job, go and try and do a better job. Not call me to ask me, you can take that down? Or why did you put that up? And then move to make the person's life a living hell. Stop it. Stop it. If you don't want people to talk about you, if you don't want people to talk about the work you're doing, then don't run for election. Don't sit in none of the government offices. Go do your own thing. Go do your own thing, run your own thing, because once you're in a government office, once you're in a House of Assembly, anything to do with where we have to pay you, because we're your boss, we're going to talk about it. We should be able to say whatever we need to say without you calling anybody. So stop calling people. Stop messaging people. Why did you say that? Da, 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 da. Go do what you were elected to do and shut the hell up. Just shut up. Just leave people alone. Okay? And I'm going to talk about this because, like I said, I'm pissed, but I'm going to touch on this. really quickly before I get to that. Labor, immigration, these types of conversations, and and I'm appreciative. Someone reached out to me yesterday and they said that, Cindy, a lot of people listen to what you're saying. You can make a comment and, it could switch things up and people, will, believe. And you're basically trying to tell me to just be careful or be cautious. I want to use the right words because they weren't trying to silence me or anything. They were more trying to say, because of my reach and my impact, be careful or how you want to address issues when it comes to immigration, statuses, etc., like that, because you don't want you and us. They don't want me to add to the divide that's happening and so forth. And I totally understand where they're going with that. But I also want to say that it will be hardly or very difficult. It'll be very difficult to say anything at all and, people not feel how they're going to feel. Because it's an explosive area. It's an explosive space to speak about. Okay, and so people are going to get offended. There are times Virgin Islanders will be offended about my position. There are times expats are going to be offended about my position. But I can only say what I think is, in my opinion, my view. My view. And from sitting where I sit, whether as a Virgin Islander or they want to say whether my dad was an expat and so half of me is from, however they want to frame it. I'm going to say what I think are some of the best moves to protect the Virgin Islands. And in me wanting to see protection for Virgin Islanders doesn't mean that I hate not a single person that comes into this territory or moves around this territory. I've said it before, my conversation isn't about liking or disliking anyone. It's about what's best for the Virgin Islands, what's best for the future generations of the Virgin Islands, and that's where my conversation is going to concentrate on. I will not accept injustices for anybody at all, whether it's Virgin Islander, non-Virgin Islander, residents here, whatever. I won't accept any of that. But do I think a path needs to be carved out for a brighter and better and an actual future for Virgin Islanders? Absolutely. And I'm going to fight tooth and nail for that because I have 3 little Virgin Islanders that deserve a future in this territory. All right. So that's how I'm going to say about that now, because we're coming to the closing hour. So when I come back to these types of conversations, I don't want people to be offended. There's not a dislike for anybody. Just where are we going and how do we get there? And my point of views may be differing for yours, but I'm here to fight for the future of the Virgin Islands, not the future of people that come in here and wish to stay and become I have to fight for what we have here and its sustainability. All right? Is it sustainable that we add 1,000 new citizens every year? I don't know. Probably not. Not when you have, a bunch of Virgin Islanders sitting down at home, can't even get to. No, so there's a lot to unpack there. And when I get to those things, I'm not trying to create a bigger divide or whatever, but this conversation needs to be had. People are going to be offended on both sides of the aisle, like I said, because sometimes my opinion or my view is not going to be what Virgin Islanders, generational Virgin Islanders, indigenous Virgin Islanders want to hear. And on the other side, sometimes it won't be what they want to hear. Okay? And we leave that there. There's a situation in this territory, and I want to just mention it. I want to mention it because I want to mention it, and I'm going to get to it at some point. I've spoken about a couple of stories that I'm working on. One I might probably have to shelve due to an untimely passing, so I might have to shelve that one or think about how to go about that one. But there's a pension problem in the BVI with a couple statutory boards. where the pension plan company, I understand, has no idea where their money is. And this is a company that's doing business with government statutory boards. I understand there are people in government covering up this matter. I understand there are people within these statutory boards that would like to go on retirement and they cannot because their money cannot be found. I understand that maybe up to 2 persons in the past year forced their retirement because they wanted to go, and this statutory board had to pay them out of their own, out of the statutory board's money because the pension plan cannot produce their money. I understand the statutory board, one of the statutory boards has moved their pension plan from that pension company over to a new pension company, and the former pension company has yet to transfer the money, which I understand they don't have, which I understand government is covering up, moving the money from there over there. So even though they've transferred this company, their people still can't go into retirement because there's no money for them to have. The pension plan, the new pension plan company can't give monthly, progress reports, monthly reports, because there's no money to give reports on because they can't get the money that's not there by the old pension company. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? There's a pension company in the BVI that has mismanaged pensioners' money. There are people in government that are aware. This statutory board, which belongeth to government, is going through this, more than one of them, and they are covering it up. And when I say covering it up, they know that it's happening. They are in turn paying out anyone that forces their retirement, because if I say I want to retire and you don't have my money, and I'm telling you I want to retire, you got to find my money. And government continues to put the head of that pension company on government boards, and they know what is going on. They continue to give them contracts. And I'm going to ask the Premier of the Virgin Islands to look into this matter with haste. Because the next time I bring it up, I'm going to lay some paperwork on the table and I'm going to call names. This matter needs to be rectified. And if I don't hear that it's rectified in the coming weeks, it's going to blow to hell. So if you guys hear anything happen to me, it will be because of this. All right? This is the stuff that's of the devil. Okay? That people that you put in place, that you elected, that you trusted with your future, they know what's going on. Their friends, their cronies, they keep messing up government's money, and then they awarded more money. They're awarded more positions on boards. They're up in your church and they're preaching to you. This is why when I tell people they keep calling me to come to church, I'm not coming. I am not coming. Okay? They're up in your face, they're all holy, and they're they're mismanaging millions of dollars that government is aware of. I'm going to say it as a fact, because what is going on with those statutory boards and that pension company, government knows. Okay? The heads of the statutory board, they know. Okay? The board of the statutory boards, the chairman, the deputy chairman, all the board members, they know. And if the matter is not rectified, I'm going to come and sit here and I'm going to call everybody's name, and you can't do nothing about it. Find these people's money. They paid into that pension for years and they can't retire because there's no money. There is no money. And we should not be finding the money to put these people on retirement. We need to hold that pension company accountable. Its owners need to be arrested. This is financial fraud. It's jail walk. Okay? I've said what I said. Okay? People who have paid in their pension, they're stressed out, they're broken, they're upset. And we keep putting people under this type of pressure and then adding pressure for them not to talk. Like one of the statutory boards right now forcing their employees to sign what you call, what are they, NDAs, basically. What is going on in this place? What is going on in this place? And this stuff has been happening for a long time, but some of y'all shit gonna get blown to hell. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Fix that matter. Not one person that has paid their pension for so long and paid into, their retirement to have a future, and they can't even retire. You can't even retire. They tell you, don't retire yet. They're not signing off on it because you can't get your money. I've been sitting on this waiting to see if it will be rectified. And it's not, as I sit here today, that matter is not rectified. And this person continues business. This person continues to sit on government boards, get government contracts, and the board of these statutory boards know this is going on. Some of the lawyers know it's going on. The heads of the statutory boards, the directors, deputy directors, managers, they know it's going on. And everybody is concealing this. Can you guys believe it? All right. So on that note, I'm going to call this another day. Unless anything changes, and he better don't tell me anything. The Honorable Myron Walwyn is on tomorrow. I look forward to that. And again, I'm also going to unveil this box of affordable goodies from Rotom Wholesale and sample them right in front of you guys, and so forth. Yes. So yes, certain things you might find me a little emotional. Certain things really make me emotional. I hate when people are taken advantage of, and then they're made, they're the victim, and then, there's a pile-on, you just want what's yours, your life, you paid into something, and then you're made to be the enemy. We have to stop doing what we're doing to people in this territory. There's so many people suffering mental breaks. They're on medication just to function because what is happening to them, there's no outlet for them to deal with it. Stop doing this stuff to people. And I'm telling y'all, that matter needs to be rectified. It needs to be rectified, or names are gonna be called. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Anyway. No, he's good. Somebody just mentioned a company here to me. I don't get me. I say when I'm ready to call names, I'm going to call names. No, he's good. Okay? But this is financial. These are financial crimes. And anybody enabling this, they should be held accountable as well. Government minister, the statutory boards are under you. You know what's going on. Deal with it. Deal with it. Trust me, it's gonna spill over into the public space, because the money that these statutory boards spend, it belongs to the people. We give them a budget every year, and we give them money. They give us a budget, and we give them money to fulfill their budget. When people are like this, who knows that this is going on knows that it's going on. Everybody that's a victim of it, they know it's happening. The statutory boards that are involved, they know it's happening. The heads of the boards themselves, the boards of the boards, they all know it's happening. And the ministers responsible for those boards know it's happening. Nobody don't call me, none of them don't call me, none of you don't call me. Rectify the matter, allow who wants to go on retirement to have their retirement plan that they paid into. They want to see their monthly reports. Those are not coming anymore. Get on this, because this is financial crime, okay? This is a criminal matter. All right. I brought it up today. I didn't intend to, but I brought it up today because, the whole thing with Anegada and, just everything that the stresses that people continue to be put on here, under here. And, these people that you put, no, I'm not. Those people that you put in charge and you trust them, they go along like nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. You're losing everything that you've worked for, and they act like you're the problem. Well, fix this one. The other one, like I said, I put it on hiatus because, unfortunately we had an untimely death. So I'm going to think on how to bring out that information. So, yeah. No, absolutely not. I'm not. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I look forward to tomorrow, 8:30 to 11:30. Let me give you the menus for today, at least the one that I have, and then I'll go on the other page and see if she has pulled hers there, because she might be busy and she didn't get back to me. So these menu for today, Tuesday, February 3rd, they have roasted leg quarters, they have stewed baby back ribs, grilled steak in mushroom sauce, yum yum, salmon in sweet chili sauce, that sounds delicious. They have curry lentils, they have white rice, vegetable rice, corn on the cob, roasted potato with herbs, and broccoli and spinach stir fry. So that's Dee's menu for today. Let me go and do my own work, and let me see if I find the other one. Is it still raining outside? Because I have to head out to, who am I looking for? The pub. I have to head out now, so I hope it's not raining. What is today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, here we go. Tuesday, 3rd of February for the pub. They have conch soup, small and large, of course. They have oxtail and mushroom melt with seasoned fries. Interesting. They have stewed chicken, sauteed conch in lemon butter sauce, and pan-seared salmon with coconut curried sauce. And their sides are peas and rice, macaroni pie, island style, coleslaw. All right, so get your lunch on the east side, on the west side, go from town to east, come from east to town. Enjoy these two menus. They're two brilliant menus today. I want to thank my sponsors, Caribbean Sellers, CCT BVI, Premier Insurance Limited, Frozen Imports, Mackeson AC, which of course, nothing that is said on this show represents their company or they have anything to do with it. I need to get the proper splurge. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys tomorrow when I have the Honorable Myron Walwyn as my guest and as we break down some of this information. Before we go, I was actually, my teas for this week, I tried this one today, the guava mint. All right, and this is from BVI Bush Teas, and this guava mint is actually delicious. This is very good. You can taste the guava and the mint, and the fusion is absolutely yummy. So these BVI Bush Teas, if you want to reach out to them, call 284-4 or WhatsApp 284-440-3341, or you can email them at bvibushteas@gmail.com. This guava mint is absolutely delicious. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. Facts in the morning, no gimmicks, no spin. Educate, empower, let the day begin. Sunrise busting over hills and sea. Radio on, tune in frequency. From policy talk to community news. She asks the questions, bring real truth. No long talk, straight to the point. Facts so clean, day and night. From the people voice to the leaders' seat. She connect the dots, make sense of it. If you want knowledge, tune in early. If you want clarity, don't come late. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. How the country running, we break it down. A chance undone in count two. Electrifying facts for me and you. Economy, health, education. Youth, them future, the whole foundation. Culture, law, accountability. She hold the line for transparency. Not just talk, context and insight. So you can reason and get it right. Morning boost for your mind and soul. Information is power, take control. Grab your bush tea, clear your head. Start your day, properly fed. Who got the facts? Who got the facts? Cindy. Who asks the hard questions? Who keep it real every morning? Daily talk show. Daily talk show. Covering the issues. It drops an up higher. Electrifying. Powerful morning booze. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. From sunrise talk to national plan. Facts in the morning so we understand. Strong minds, strong people, stronger land. Before you step out, before you decide, get the facts in the morning and walk with pride. The morning facts with Cindy Rosen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine nation. Grab your bush tea. Cindy Rosen in the building. Let's break it down. The morning